let's just remove some of this stuff. Sell some more treasures, 23,000, not quite as much as 4-1, but a good amount nonetheless. Upgrade as you see fit. So with that, pretty much all we need to do here is reload speed. And you know what? I think I will go ahead and max that out. And here's the reason why, because this is the first gun we've had where we've maxed everything on it. At this point, after you've completed the game, you might actually be able to do it before, but I think you have to complete the game at least once. Catalytic converters were out. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's always a fun job. After you have maxed out everything in a gun, firepower, load speed, capacity, and if there's any other thing you can upgrade down here, then that as well. You are able to buy in the menu, and again, I think you have to have the game beaten, infinite ammo for that weapon. Now, you use this by all the points you've collected throughout a stage. When you get ranks on all the stages, like an S rank's 2,000, a B rank is 1,000, etc. And those will vary with A, your rank, and B, the difficulty that you're playing on. If you want to get a lot of points, I'd suggest Mercenary mode, and we'll go over that. But I would suggest Mercenaries for picking that up. This will enable your gun to have infinite ammo. It will be the one that you maxed completely, but you can turn that setting on and then play with infinite ammo, meaning that you would never have to pick up ammo for that ammo type ever again. So, like, I wouldn't need rifle ammo if I had the infinite ammo for it. So if you're going to play on Professional, I'd recommend you upgrade, like, at least a rifle, a Magnum, and maybe one other weapon to where you can get infinite ammo for them. Now, there is another weapon you can get infinite ammo for, and that's the rocket launcher, but we'll talk about that when the game's beaten. And some weapons don't have infinite ammo no matter what you do, with a grenade launcher being one of them. Can't have infinite grenades, no infinite proxy bombs, you get the idea. Oops, there we go. So with that, let's see. Should we go ahead and do it for the machine gun? I feel like no for now. I feel like I'd rather save for this. And we'll get that as soon as we possibly can. I'm going to save for the Magnum. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save for the Magnum. That seems like the wisest decision, so we will stick with that. And since I was kind of low on health... I'll get poked. Thank you for the host. Friend of mine fixed him for 150. Yeah, that's not too bad. It always helps if you have somebody you can trust to fix your car. You know, they'll give you a better rate than somebody else would. Those are probably some of the harder gems in the game to find, is those two. But yeah, there are a couple gems in here as well as an emblem. If you go all the way to the right here, there's an emblem. So now that we're in Chapter 5, we're kind of leaving the Chapter 3 and 4 area of dealing with like the Nindipia tribe and all the tribesmen being infected. To more of Dexter and his laboratory. And I do think I like this area. I don't like this area as much as like the starting area for Chapter 1 and 2, but I like this area more than 3 and 4. So let's see what we can find in here. Alright, I get the picture. I'll switch to machine gun. Jeez. Bunch of that stuff. Oh, I don't want that. And you can get some info on like Umbrella by like reading the documents, turning on the computers. Some of them will turn on so you can get some notes there. But what was that? It's probably nothing. I'm not going to worry about it.
I don't know how, but they could be using it to produce biological weapons.
Yep, believe it or not, one of the types of viruses in the game, which we're going to unleash now. Virus water. It's like vitamin water, except better. I think I've seen enough of these flowers. Somehow I don't think these are for Mother's Day. Jeez, way to be passive-aggressive about that. But the flowers are actually used, those flowers are used for one of the types of viruses, and it's only the flowers that are grown in that underground environment we saw at the start of the stage. If If you want to read up on that, I'm not going to be able to give you a perfect example, but yeah. The virus was made from parts of those plants, but only when they're grown underground here for some unknown reason. Maybe they actually tell you why, I don't remember. For now, let's pull a lever. And ignore whatever that was.
Careful. I saw something.
Don't tell me to be careful, I'll do what I want. Bark at me. And now, time for everybody's favorite Resident Evil enemy. It's a licker! And now it's dead. These will often drop lion hearts, but they do not always drop them, of course. And there is an achievement tied to this enemy. It is called Heart Stopper. If you can knock them on their back, usually with a shotgun is the best way to do this, and run up to them and do a melee attack, you can actually knife them and just stab them in the heart, and that's how you get the achievement for doing that. But you have to run in immediately. They also do a special attack where they can jump on you, and your partner has to save you. There's no button prompt to do it. The only way you can be saved by it is if your partner saves you, and if they do not save you in time, you will be killed. So watch out for that. It's one of the few upsides is that because your AI usually hangs around you, typically they're going to be able to save you pretty quickly. Yeah, I mean, what's the worst that could happen, though, right? I mean, it's not like they'd make you fight a whole horde of them or anything. Also, there's no real need to pull this lever. If you want to, you can, but it doesn't do anything. It just turns the lights on and you can see that there's more lickers around, but you don't actually have to hit that. Now comes the part of the stage that I got wrong for many years on end.
I don't think it notices.
Guess their senses are weak.
So the way to get by these guys is it says to be quiet. You have to walk, not run. Oh, but Sheva ran, of course, so she ruined it. But you need to walk, not run, if you're playing with a human player. Actually, I'm going to try something real quick, because this is another good way to deal with these guys. I mentioned this like a long time ago, so I might as well put my money where my mouth is on this one. Get rid of some junk. This is a very good place to use the proximity bombs. If you're not a big fan of using them normally, this is one time I would actually recommend using them. Aside from the fight that's in, where you fight the bat, that's in 2-2, and then when you fight him again in 4-1, this is probably the only place I'd ever recommend the proximity bombs. But they work really well here. So I'll show you what you're actually supposed to do after we're done defeating all these guys. Equip that. Whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready. Hey, it blew up! Congrats! Maybe next time do that a little sooner, huh? Nah, I don't want to give Sheva a healing item. She'll waste it. I know for a fact she will waste it. You can do the Sheva. All you have to do is attempt to do something. Provided it's not running away from me while I'm trying to heal you. Save that for Overwatch.
Okay.
Come on!
Roger. I don't think it notices.
Try this a little bit more carefully this time. Yeah, when they're flailing around like that, that's when you go in for the melee that's called hard stopper. Hopefully you'll return the favor by actually doing something. Since you almost got hit by their insta-kill move if I didn't come to save you, I'm going to guess that answer is no. Alright, did we already get the 2 that came from here? Yeah, we did. So what you're supposed to do in this section, again, if you're playing with a human that's actually smart enough to do this, is you would walk through this section, not run. Don't run at any point, just casually walk through. When you get to this door, push it open, don't kick it. And then, of course, walk all the way to this door right here. Once you get to this door, it's one that you and your partner have to kick down, and that will alert them no matter what. But you can at least get past them to get to this elevator without them getting alerted. But again, because the AI wasn't smart enough to do that, you get how it worked, but, you know, sadly, that's about all I can do. Yeah, we're good on health. So let's summon the elevator. That might be a while. No, it's actually going pretty fast. But of course, it's going to make you go through this. And there's the elevator. So if you want to get on there and just exit without killing the lickers, you can. But if you got the ammo for it, I would do it. Because there's a good chance you'll get lion hearts, and at the very least you might get a refill on some of your ammo types. Looks like I actually got pretty unlucky there. Oh well. Moving swiftly on. Ah, this section. What do I want to do here? I think I'm going to take a restart and get rid of some stuff. This is the one time I would recommend bringing your grenades with you. Like, definitely bring your grenades for this fight. Because it makes this way, way easier. As you can see, they do give you some supplies here, so you can get one grenade. And when you actually get onto the boss fight arena, there's another one as well. I'm going to go ahead and give that to her as well. Because you do want to make sure you have enough room to pick up some items. You don't need to have a lot of room, but like at least 3 inventory slots would be helpful. This is what I would consider probably the second hardest boss fight in this game. And depending on how it goes, I may or may not actually get the Magnum for this one. Like, it's that level of you need to really be on the ball for it. But there is an easy way to do this fight, or easier, rather. Ah! Well, that's probably not a good noise. Oh, looks like someone was given the red pill, blue pill decision and decided to open up their eyes and see the true world as it was. Probably should have just stayed in your happy little cocoon. Also, yeah, Jill is blonde now, in case you didn't realize that. If you've not played one of the early Resident Evils, she's a brunette normally. They actually go into why a little bit more later on, but for now...
They must be kidnapping people from all over the world to experiment on.
Namely, probably Japan, Norway, and Tierra del Fuego would be my guesses.
Why?
¿Por qué?
That's why.
Surprise! It's a giant spider. No thanks. I'll just avoid that. Meet the U8. That is literally its name. U-8. Just the letter and the number. So I'd recommend by starting just picking everything up. And then you want to attack. Yep. You want to go after the red parts on its arms. And it will fall down. Now at this point you're supposed to attack the mouth. But it doesn't do full damage. So what you can do instead is run up to it and throw a grenade in there. Also, Mr. Lube, thank you for the follow. That is quite the name. By doing this 3 times, you can end the fight, just straight up. Because attacking it while it has that shell, attacks only do 5% damage. And after the shell gets blown off, it only does 15% damage. With piercing it, your weapon shots will do a little bit more, but not like insane amounts of damage. So by blowing it up with the explosives, this fight goes by way faster. Also, you'll have to watch out for this quick time, so don't get hit by that, because that will insta-kill you. That's not like the ones in the El Gigante fight where you'll just take heavy damage. Oops, that's not what I was trying to do. Oh, I thought it was... Okay, it's just releasing that. I thought it was falling down, that's why I didn't do anything. So yeah, by defeating these little bugs, they'll drop ammo for you if you need it. He'll also shake the platform like that. I think now he just fell down. Yep. Now here's where the problems may occur. Is sometimes when playing this game and killing him with the explosives, it will crash the game on PC. I have no clue why. Probably because it's, you know, the easier way to beat him. But sometimes the game will crash after this cutscene. So hopefully it won't do that, but it can crash there. If the game continuously crashes for you on that section because you're throwing grenades in, really your best bet is to throw 2 grenades at it to blow the shell off and then start hitting it with anything you've got that has piercing. So in my case it's the H&K and the Magnum. The rifles will work pretty well too. But don't waste your handgun bullets and don't waste your shotgun bullets on them. But without using that strategy, that boss is actually pretty hard. Because its movement is just all over the place. And of course, she's not there.
Damn it. Where is she?
She's around.
Mr. Redfield, how nice to find
Who the hell are you?
She works with Tricep,
nice. You've done your homework.
an officer in the Global Pharmaceutical Consortium. Why?
As if I need to explain myself to you. Although, weren't you two given orders to retreat?
So it was you.
Where is Jill?
Jill, even if I did know, you think I would tell you?
Cut the crap. Tell me where she is.
As soon as you two are done with your little vigilante mission, you should leave. There's nothing here with throwing your lives away for.
She's lying. She knows something.
It's time we get some answers.
What, are you turned into Leon from Resident Evil 4 all of a sudden? The guy who wants answers and can never get them? Also, since thankfully this game is rated M for mature and has swearing, I'm allowed to officially say this. I usually just refer to Excella as bitch tits. Because she's, like, bar none, the most annoying character in this game. Bar none. You know, like Resident Evil 4 was Ashley, here it's her. Ashley was granted for a completely different reason, but the point still stands. Alright, let's remove some of this junk. The downside is by having all of your stuff upgraded, and in terms of capacity, you actually will start needing to put bullets in like this. So this is what I recommend. If you can save bullets, then do so. The pistol starting capacity goes all the way to 100, so you'll have a while on that, so if you want to save the upgrades there, you can. But I would save, like, at least a little bit of money by the time that you're done with, whenever you're doing 5-3. Once that stage is over, save a little bit of money, and you'll see why when we get to 5. Actually, I think you might be able to pick it up in this stage, so. But save a little bit of money, just in case. Not, like, a lot, but, like, maybe 10,000-ish, and you should be fine. So I'm going to hold off on that, because I think the gun I'm thinking of that we need to upgrade, we get in this stage. I'm pretty sure. So I'm just going to stick with what I got. New in the shop, of course, the AK-74. Believe it or not, AK-47 is actually copywritten, and therefore they cannot... they can't use it. Just the AK-47, the AK brand itself is not copyrighted, so they flipped it and made it 74. But that actually is like a proper AK-74. And the bulletproof vest, which again works like the melee vest that blocks about 25% damage, but in this case it's with bullets, but it uses up an inventory slot, but it can also be worn with the melee vest. If you're playing and you have infinite ammo, you might consider using those, but if you have to like pick up ammo, if I have to have ammo for each of these types, that's 6 slots. I'm usually keeping a healing item for 7. And if I need to combine them, I need another one, so you're probably not going to use them. You might use one or the other, but probably not both. Also, they're pretty expensive, so, you know, that's part of it, too. Hopefully you like sniping, because you're going to be doing it a lot in this stage. If there's any stage that, like, promotes sniping, this is hands down it. Sup? Good action roll. 2 good action rolls. Too bad it didn't make a lick of difference. Surprise! They'll also start having masks on their face that cannot be shot off, so sometimes you'll actually not want to go for the headshots. Oops, I didn't want that. Here, you take this. Now it's also when you're going to have to start using the cover system a little bit more. And I believe that dude on the left over there will start throwing flash grenades, so watch out for him. Nice shot, Sheva. Really, you don't need to hide. Just move forward not too quickly and you should be fine. And when you get the chance, make sure you stick to the machine gun or the pistol and not the rifle, or whatever you're using that's not the rifle. You really have to conserve the rifle bullets on this one, so be careful with them. Also, if you do come back here, it will spawn an enemy in. So make sure you don't get hit by this guy. Or you can just kill him, you know. Most of the time he just stays there and doesn't actually do anything. Alright, before we continue, this is actually a little bit tougher of a section, so let's go and do this. Yeah, we're going back to rifle for this one. Ah, he's got a helmet on. There is a dude on the left. Oh, there he is. I guess he has to walk up to it. I was wondering where he was. Couldn't find him. So in choosing which side of the stairs you want to go up, I would heavily recommend taking the right side. I don't know what happened with that shot, but apparently it either went right through him or it hit something that I could not actually get. Also, apparently I hit an explosive with that? I'm not sure how. Yeah, he's still alive. Get away. But normally you could get right about here, and then there'd be a propane tank you can shoot. Apparently I shot it with getting that guy with a headshot, yet I did not see one in front of or behind him. Somehow the shot must have gone through him and hit him, but... okay. I'm pretty sure there's actually nothing there, but if the game says so... Let's just move swiftly on from whatever that was. How about with a cutscene, perhaps? Albert.
Shit. What? I thought he was dead.
So we find out Mr. Wesker is still alive. Even though we'd already known that for a while. Really, it was kind of obvious, even whenever they showed the story between Chris, Jill, and Wesker. Alright. So, round 2 of this, again, I'm not going to show it off because the AI is not going to be smart enough to. But, I'm actually going to stick with the pistol as well. If you walk through this entire section, then the lickers will never be alerted to you, and you actually can walk past them completely in this section. You don't have to kick a door down at any point, so you can straight up get to where you need to go. Speaking of getting to where you need to go, apparently I was stuck on a wall there. Not wanting to switch to this. Blah! Just keep firing. But again, like with the last one, unless you're really low on ammo, I would fight these guys anyway for the Lion Hearts. And even if they don't drop that, there's a chance you'll get some of your ammo back. Thanks, you want to start firing? There we go, there's Heartstopper. I've already got that achievement, but in case you wanted to see it, that's what it looks like. No problem. We'll pretend that went incredibly smoothly, but at least you got to see what Heartstopper looked like. That was the only reason I ran through there. Ah, this section. I'm actually going to take a restart so I can reload my machine gun here. And also get rid of that. No, just get rid of it. shouldn't need it here, but we'll see. Now, if you're really quick in this section, you're supposed to fight a whole bunch of enemies here whenever they first get alerted to you, but if you come right about here and pick off the 2 guys that you need to in time, then you can avoid having to deal with this. The problem is, I believe on veteran difficulty and professional, the second guy always has a helmet, which actually means I should probably... Let me try a grenade. Because you have to kill the guys that will get alerted in 1 hit. There's no way around it. If you don't do it in 1 hit, then they will be alerted to you. But since the only way to get a 1-hit kill is with a high-powered weapon or with a headshot, in this case, obviously, the headshot. Yeah, no, you can't switch the grenade fast enough. It can be done, though, and you don't have to go through any of this section at all right here. You can straight up just walk to the end of this first part of the stage. Yeah, Sheva, you really should have fired at anybody there in order to stop them. Sheva, if I've got to stand in front, you need to at least be ready to resuscitate me. You're clearly not ready to resuscitate me. You should be standing right next to me. Ah, there he is. Ah, there he is. Alright, that should be good for now. So, like, this section right here, I'll let you know whenever the section actually would start proper if you did manage to snipe kill them. If you had something like, you know, rocket launcher, then you could just, you know, blow them up, and then it wouldn't be an issue. Also, yeah, there's some boxes back there. I'm not going to bother going to pick those up. But if you really need ammo and you don't care about your ranks, then you can just go for it. Just keep in mind, if you are going for everything, you will need to S rank, even on professional, because there's some stuff that only gets unlocked whenever you've done that. Thankfully, it did give us some rifle ammo. That's what we really needed. And be sure you don't fall into the furnace back there, because if anything touches it, then you die. So, like, if you touch it, you die. If any enemies touch it, they die. It is an insta-kill. Also, the AI is incredibly bad about being able to make it on here in time. Case in point. So, even though it looks dumb to stop a contraption that you're no longer on and will never be on, you might have to do it just in order for the AI to actually get up to where you are. So if you manage to kill those first 2 people, this is the point where you'd actually have to start fighting enemies. And again, this will be a spot that you want your rifle. Couldn't have been that hard to hit, jeez. Fired like 8 bullets at him. Well, it was either watch you get hit by that or let me blow you up myself, and it was more fun to watch you just get blown up by my shot, so that's what I went with. Come on, hop down here. Ah, that works. Yeah, if the enemy is in an animation of jumping through something and they take like a heavy amount of damage to kill them, once the animation's done, they'll just die. Which is nice, because if you do the exact same thing, you don't take any damage at all. So, it works out. Only Chris can hit that unless you've got a grenade. It can't be an incendiary, it has to be a regular hand grenade. Something that has explosives, so your grenade launcher, hand grenades, rocket launcher, any of those would work. I'm also going to have her take that machine gun because I don't really want it. And let's keep going. So if you try to start up this conveyor belt, you're going to notice very quickly that there's no power, and therefore you can't do anything with it. So it's going to force you down this path. Where we've got, at least in terms of mini-bosses, this is probably the most annoying. For most people. There might, some people might think like the chainsaw's worse. I'd argue it might be this one. Largely in part just due to the fact of how annoying it is to actually defeat.
Why would they need these, do you think?
Maybe they're planning to start a war.
This is the part where the infamous Wrecking Ball song by Miley Cyrus and Never Meant to Start a War starts playing. But we'll ignore that for now and move swiftly on. Alright.
Come on, Roger.
Pull that lever. As I switch positions in my chair because my leg was starting to hurt. At this point, I would recommend pulling your machine gun out. Because it's time to fight everyone's favorite Overwatch character, unless it's not. A Reaper! So the way to deal with these guys is thankfully they can't attack the AI. Okay, it could just get stuck there, sure. Shove it, get out of the way. This thing can insta-kill you if it touches you, so you want to blow off at least one of its arms so it loses the ability to use its insta-kill move. It has a white spot in the center of its chest and obviously creates this haze, so it's very hard to see where you're shooting. And if you can shoot that, it will open up a weak spot on its shoulder. Shoot that enough times and it will open up a second weak spot on its shoulder. Shoot that enough times and the initial spot will come back up, and then once you've done enough damage to that, then it will finally go away. Another trick to fighting these things is I'm actually going to show, because there's probably going to be another one pretty quickly here. Well, actually not immediately. But I'll show another way to dispatch them without using up so much ammo, but you will need a grenade for it. This also works wonders in mercenary mode when you have to fight those things, because they are treated as mini-bosses and they're incredibly annoying. Thankfully, they only show up in one stage, if I remember correctly.
These must be the discarded test subjects from the research facility.
Likely so. So as you're going across this conveyor belt, you'll be able to find some dead brides' necklaces, and some of the, for lack of a better word, corpses will try to attack you. Now, if you're playing with a partner and you're going for the achievement of the,
Help me out here. Much appreciated.
for the achievement of the lifeguard, where you, or not lifeguard, but a friend in need, where you help your partner from one of the little help things, like this. 10 times, this is a phenomenal place to do it because you don't take any damage. They're literally just there to hold you in place. So now one of the more annoying sections is right here. It's pretty easy to make this across, but, say it with me, if you've got the AI for a partner, if they are on low health, meaning that they're holding their side because you don't run as fast, they can't make it up. They go so slow that they actually get stuck in a loop. So if you don't have any healing items and your partner's at low health, you need to get some from your inventory or buy a first aid spray, because you're not going to be able to get them to go past there otherwise. With human players, if they're at low health, they can make it. It's a little hard to do, but it can be done. But with an AI, they don't know what they're doing. Alright, it is time for the worst boss in Resident Evil 5. In my opinion, but really, I think most people think this is the worst boss in the game. Oh, I didn't get all of it. Alright, here. You can hold on to that. We're going to immediately go and take a restart to dump all of these items that we just picked up off, because we're not going to be using any of them. But we can enjoy a cutscene first. Worms.
Sheva.
Chris!
Well, glad you could make it. Up here, you two.
Excella. Where's Jill?
Jill. You're like a broken record, you know that? Just as single-minded as he said. You've spent so long trying to track down Ouroboros. Well, here, enjoy.
Oh, I will.
The Ouroboros is a mutant mobility, and you're planning on selling it to terrorists.
Good guess, but no. While it was resembled to BOW based on the progenitor virus, I have no intention of setting it to terrorists.
Then what are you using it for?
Evolution. It's a philosopher's stone, one that will choose through DNA who shall proceed to the next stage. My vision and his command now made a reality.
Evolution? What are you talking about?
Oh, you'll find out soon enough. Everyone will. Too bad. Looks like he wasn't worthy. Only the chosen ones are fit to become new worlds.
Excella. Wait!
And there it is, the next Ouroboros that we need to fight. Let's start by restarting the stage, shall we? The main reason being is you want to dump, aside from your weapons, everything out of your inventory. And in fact, you could even dump all your weapons too if you need the extra inventory space. So I think that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of everything and only put on one item. The rocket launcher, which we've been saving since 3-1. This is what you want to use on this boss. This boss takes a long time and will eat up a ton of your bullets if you try to fight it the normal way. Like the previous Ouroboros, it is weak to fire, and they do give you a weapon to combat it in this flamethrower over here. However, it's just easier to shoot it with a rocket because that will end the fight immediately.
That's the same type of bioweapon that wiped out Alpha Team.
Yes, but this one seems much more ferocious.
But also by doing this, and, well, not giving up, but moving all your guns somewhere else, it gives you time to pick up, or space to pick up everything that you can here. Because there is a fair bit of ammo, it still will not be enough. But you can grab all those, and then just end the fight. What you're supposed to do is use fire-based attacks, i.e. the flamethrower, and if the flamethrower runs out of fuel, you set it back on that dock to recharge. Incendiary grenades, the flame rounds, and the grenade launcher, you get the idea. And then once it's weakened, fire away, but it takes, again, a lot of bullets. It's way faster and way easier to just kill it that way. Killing it with a rocket ensures, assuming that you haven't, you know, like really taken your time, that you're going to get an S rank on time, at the very least. And because you can die on it pretty easily and have to start the whole thing over, it will pretty much also ensure that you get an S on deaths. So, would recommend very heavily using the rocket there. So now let me put my stuff back here. Sell some treasures. We'll keep things as they are there for now, because again, there's a gun that I'm going to be upgrading slightly here in a second. And since it wasn't in that stage, I'm now completely sure that it's in this upcoming stage. Also now the rifle or Sig machine gun is there, and then the flame rounds as well, if you want either of those. Also, like with 1-2 after 1-1 and a couple other stages, all the stuff that I picked up there, you cannot get at 5-3. It will have disappeared, so that's why you want to get it there and not right now.
Doesn't matter what she says. She's just a terrorist.
Might be
Need a
this one.
story. We can't risk Ouroboros getting out of here
No?
and infecting people.
Then let's go take care of business.
Where is it? It's in one of the... Yeah, there it is. I'm hitting that... I'm not hitting the fan blade, but I'm hitting that wire. There we go.
Thanks, partner.
Alright, let's get out of here and move on. Now, like the last stage, there is a segment coming up here. I don't think it's immediate, but if you can manage to defeat all the enemies before the alarm sounds, again, you can just casually walk through a decent chunk of the stage without having to fight anything. But it's a lot harder to do here than it was on that first one. It's not in this section, though, but just a slight note ahead of time. Oh, geez, Magnum ammo. I'm going to have Sheva hang on to that because I know she can't use it. That's a pretty rare commodity, so if you get that, try not to accidentally force a restart, because then you won't get to keep it. Unless you've gotten past another checkpoint, but try to hang on to it if you can see it. Because it does not come up often. Knock out all those guys before they become a problem, because trust me, if you let them get into the positions that they go to, they will be a problem. And a new type of ammo for the grenade launcher, the electric rounds. I'm not a big fan of the electric rounds. There's not anything that they're particularly insanely good on. But if you want to use them, they're an option. You'll notice that there's some eggs up here, and at least one of these will spawn, but on higher difficulties like Veteran and Professional, 2 of them will spawn for sure. Sheva, come on, get out of the way. Honey, get out of the way. A little bit easier that way. But the other thing to do is, if you throw a grenade, they'll kind of like roll, either roll backwards or roll forward, and right after they do this, their weak point will be open. If you hit them with a single shot from any gun, they will die instantly. So by using a grenade and 1 bullet of your choice, you can get them out. There, that works. Right in the crotch. I'm gonna assume this one will show up again. Yep. Good thing I shot off its arm there, because it probably would have killed me otherwise. You can do damage without hitting its weak points, or while the weak points aren't active, if you have a weapon with piercing. I think it will do like half damage or somewhere along that line. But you can do it that way. Oh, hey. 3rd one. Nice. These will always drop their treasure, by the way. The Power Stone is a 100% drop. The only way you can't get the Power Stone is in the first stage where you fight these guys. If you use the furnace to kill them, because you can lure them all the way to the furnace and have them die in one hit that way, then you won't get it. Alright, this beauty, the H&K PSG-1, the final rifle of the game. When maxed, it is the weakest, but it has an incredibly good scope compared to the other two. I still prefer the Dragunov because it's got more power, but hang on to this because you'll need it for an emblem in 6-1. Also, since I haven't shown it off, there are actually taunts in this game that you can use.
Come on, come on.
And Sheva will whistle at the enemy. You can do this by hitting X on a PC version. I believe it's the bumpers together, but I'm not 100% sure on console. You'll notice that he may not have dropped the treasure here. That's because it spawns while he's on the platform over there. So, you'll get it there.
Okay, get this thing moving.
Have fun, Sheva. That guy will always turn into a Cephalos, as will this one. So you can send yourself over or send her over. It's a little bit easier to send her over first, because you're going to have to pick them off either way, because Sheva's completely useless. So by picking them off while you're not the one moving, it's a little bit easier to do that. At the same time, if you want to save time while the platform is moving back towards her, you can like go across and get all this stuff. There's nothing important here. But if you want to pick it up while you're waiting, because again, you've got nothing else to do. You gonna get over here so I can give you this?
Thanks. Take this. Thanks.
I'll just move this here for now. Once we hit a checkpoint, I'll probably deposit that, because I don't want to be lugging it around right now. And surprise, there's more enemies. It's almost like they, you know, program the rest of the game or something. I'm glad you used me as a shield to block that, Sheva. Maybe next time just shoot him instead. Ha! Nice try, sucker. Sheva, come on, please do something. I don't care what you do, but you need to do something. There you go, you figured it out. I don't know where that rocket came from. Get over here. Come on, keep walking. There we go. I'd say be a little bit more quick on the draw, Sheva, but I think in this case it's more just like, draw at all, Sheva. If you want to try to make like an insane marksman shot, what you could do is wait for them to fire the rocket and then just shoot it instantly. And so it will blow up right in their face, but again, that's kind of a hard shot to do because you don't know exactly when they'll fire. Haha. Oops. Get away from him. Also, enemies will occasionally explode now, and if they do that, then of course you're going to take damage. I actually want these back real quick. This is a little bit easier way to deal with the enemies in here. Come on, open it. I know you're in there. Open it. One more for good measure.
Thanks.
For whatever reason, it's really hard to kill all the enemies in that room in one go. Nice try. Yeah, she'll combine those.
Thanks.
There's nothing out there, Sheva. I don't know why you're hunting for anything. Oh, there must have been an enemy I killed there. Alright.
Much appreciated.
I'll give you that one. You saw it and I didn't. Also good that everybody's combined now. So yeah, I would recommend a grenade to get through there, because all those guys with shields, they will all turn into Cephalos when you kill them. But if you kill them with a grenade, it might just one-shot them, and then you don't have to deal with that. Also, we just hit a checkpoint, so let me go ahead and get rid of some items here. I'll let her hang on to that. Also, if you're wondering what was new in the shop, it was the electric rounds.
Take it.
Okay.
Thought that was magnum ammo for a second there. It does still drop a treasure? Huh, didn't realize that. Though that would be kind of hard to pick up without, you know, also going into the furnace. Unless it just places it somewhere else, like on safe land, but I have no idea. It's kind of a little bit of a risk to try to get around him, so usually I don't bother. And again, most of the time, if you've been saving ammo throughout the game, you're going to have plenty to be able to expend on him. But that is interesting. I didn't realize it still dropped those. Thank you for letting me know. In the meantime, let's start spinning right round. If you're playing this on professional or maybe even veteran, I'd recommend sticking towards the center, which is why I'm not going to do that, because it makes you a harder target to hit. Also, guys will start spawning from the area you left over here. I don't want to waste too many bullets here. There is also an emblem. You can pick this off while the thing is moving, or you don't. You can wait until you're done moving around, which is probably for the better because it's kind of hard to hit that target while it's moving. Loops along the conveyor belt. Oh, okay. So it does the same thing the Dead Bride's necklaces do. Gotcha. Sheva, please pay attention to what's going on. Thank you. Yeah, he's in too bad of a spot right now. Let's try going here. It might be a little bit easier to hit now that now the conveyor belt is slowed down. Is it on that one or is it on a different one? Well, let's just go ahead and kill him. Either way, you can pick it off after you're done rotating around. You might be able to pick it off before as well. Sheva, thank you. I don't know why you just stood there staring at me. If you've got like a grenade launcher though, that the target of hitting the emblem's way easier because you can just fire in a general direction and kill him that way. There we go, now he's dead. The jackass. Yeah, you can see it down there now. Might actually go back and try to go ahead and get it now. If I get down to like 5 shots, then I'm not going to bother, but I should be able to pick it off now. In theory. There we go. No, you didn't. You weren't even firing. Screw off. No, she says that no matter what, and I think Chris will say something akin to the same thing if you got the AI. But no, she definitely didn't get him. I refuse to believe that because A, she was not firing, B, she was not looking at him, and C, she's using a shotgun. So, my guess is no, she did not in fact get him. Also, that's where we're headed, and you might start seeing enemies, yep. Well, if you'd, you know, fired or moved or done something, that probably wouldn't have happened. But you didn't do any of those. So, good job, Sheva. Proud of you. I'd like to think that even I, as another 23-year-old who's left-handed, could do a little bit better job than what Sheva's doing right now. There, have some bullets and actually, you know, try to do something worthwhile. Let's give me a chance to see if you actually can pick it off from the start. I know you can pick it off afterwards, but I'm not sure about before. You can take those. And these 2 boxes will always be rifle ammo unless you're playing on professional. So they're not that mean to just not give you any ammo at all for rifle if you just somehow don't have any. Oh yeah, you could totally pick that off. Because it'll go through the grating, yeah. That's actually really easy to hit. I thought it'd be a little bit harder than that, but no, that's simple shot.
Come on!
Roger.
Alright, there we go. That should take care of them. I think one of them might have survived there. But it's a lot easier to stand in the center and aim because, again, the inside's not spinning as much as the outside is. For anybody that's taking calculus or physics, you probably already knew that, though. Since I've had the privilege of taking both. Anybody that can slog through calculus, man, you've got my respect. I finished Cal 1, but I could not get through Cal 2. Cal 2 is rough. Mostly because there's just a lot of material in a short amount of time to cover, and that's not really something you want for a calculus class.
No, something's stopping it.
Okay, there's that guy. That wasn't the one that we actually needed to hit, but now that he's out of the way. There we go.
It's going up again.
Yeah, it's almost like I actually did better when I started killing them. Man, if this is a train wreck now, wait till we get to the boss fights of this stage. Oh, you can't move her stuff. Alright, well, I guess that's to be expected. We might actually have to move out to the edge of the platform for these later ones, though, because it's going to be from below rather than above. Yep, and here he comes, cheerfully running to pull the lever. Okay, there's those two. There's a Hummer going by. There we go. Now you actually aim. Jeez. And by you, I mean myself. So you can actually pick these guys off from the under part of this, the underbelly of the platform, if they show up in time. Which I could do if I wasn't getting my hands stuck. There we go. Yeah, he's about to explode.
Thanks.
Oh, we didn't get them all. There we go. Now he's dead. Alright, time for the penultimate area of this chapter.
Come on!
Roger.
This would be one of the areas I would recommend bringing the grenade launch with you. I think you'll hit another checkpoint before you actually need to start fighting stuff in this area, though. But if you got the grenade launcher, I would actually recommend you take it with you for this section.
I think Excella is here,
If we want to find out, we're going to have to lower that bridge.
and we need to locate the controls. Maybe they're in that building.
But if you don't like using the grenade launcher, grenades are acceptable, proxy bombs are also acceptable. You don't have to use any of those things, but it makes it a lot easier. Also make sure you hit this. No, I completely forgot about that box. Well, enjoy that money, Sheva, even though I'll be the one that's actually, collecting from it. Not like I'll be upgrading your weapons. So at this point, you have the option of doing this yourself or making your partner do it. For the love of God, do not let the AI do this section. Please do not let the AI do it. It is bad if they do it. So, this can go really one of two ways. Like, really, one side or the other could be the problem here. It honestly just depends. If the person down here is good at doing their job and firing over here, then they might be the one in more trouble than the person going across. But if they don't fire a lot, like the AI doesn't fire a lot, then the person that's going across is going to have more difficulty. That being said, we're going to take a quick restart. I'll keep the herb on hand. I think we'll go with that. Yeah, that should work. And I would recommend, again, bring the grenade launcher, but keep an inventory slot open. And you will see why when we actually get to that point. It will spawn you back down here, so if you want to, like, if you're playing with a human player and you want to make a different decision, then you could do that now. Yeah, don't even think about it, Sheva. But again, if you're playing with AI, for the love of God, do not let them do this segment. Have them down there. They're not going to be any use to you, but it's still better than the alternative. Some more lickers are going to show up, and honestly, I would just run past these first two. And then some more will start spawning in. They'll show up down here. I was going to try to knock them off the stage, but oh well. You want to make sure you get this box here with the acid rounds. It will give you a full set of 12. I'm not even going to bother picking up that right now. And switch that into your grenade launcher and equip it. What they want you to do is start pushing this and getting it to the point where you can get into the top of the building. The second that you see lickers on the far left of the screen while you're pushing this, turn around and start firing. The grenade launcher with the acid rounds is very good for damaging these guys, and if you hit them in the head, it will often flip them back, and if you're trying to go for Heartstopper, this is a good way to do it. It's not going to give you enough to take them all out, but at the very least it will push them very far back while you're getting ready. Nope, there's still a few more. I see them. Since I don't see anything here, I think the person that's getting attacked right now is Sheva. If that's the case, I better get back to her before she screws up. Yeah, again, you are right, LogicBot. I mentioned that. The proxy bombs work really well in this section as well. Proxy bombs, grenade launcher with the acid rounds, probably even with the explosive rounds it probably does alright. Grenades, if you have the infinite rocket launcher, obviously it would do fine here as it would in most other places. I'm going to get Sheva to come through here because I'm pretty sure she's fighting a licker right now. Unless it just got stuck somewhere, which is entirely possible. It doesn't happen very often, but they can get stuck here. Just make sure you grab all those. Magnum ammo, treasure, and then a first aid spray, all of which are useful. Ooh, it's a door. We've never seen one of those before. That's brand new. Oh, there he is. He must have been falling down my path and just took a really long time to go up and around, I guess. This is going to be great for my accuracy, actually. Alright, let's continue on. And pick up the very obvious treasure that's just right there. Alright, time for one of the hardest parts of at least professional difficulty is this fight. Particularly with playing the AI, they have their strengths and their weaknesses here. Namely, in the second fight is their strengths.
Damn it, where is Jill?
She's around. Maybe.
Maybe I'll tell you. Maybe I won't.
Also, there's no quick times in this cutscene, so don't worry about that if you're playing along.
Stop playing around. We want some answers.
You haven't changed.
Wesker, you are alive.
This is Wesker.
We last met at the Spencer estate, wasn't it? Well, isn't this one big family reunion? I would expect you to be happier to see us. So slow to catch on.
Dun dun dun!
Jill. Jill, it's me, Chris.
What? Are you sure that's her?
The one and only. Now, let's finish this once and for all. I think the odds are fair. 2 on 2. Right, Jill.
Yeah, but you get Jill as your partner. I get Sheva. That's not fair at all.
7 minutes. 7 minutes.
So the first thing we're going to do is immediately take a restart here. We don't really need the grenade launcher right now. Get rid of that. I'll let her keep at least a couple healing items on, just in case. I'm going to go ahead and take some magnum ammo with me. I'm going to forego the machine gun for now. And go with this. Also, since I do have the ammo, or the money, I'm going to upgrade that to its max power. As for the amount of bullets it can fire, I think I'm going to keep it on 7 now, and again, upgrade when necessary. Really, the amount doesn't matter if I've got extra ammo here. Hopefully, it won't matter by that much. I'll give Sheva some bullets, I guess. Really, I shouldn't have to do this, but just in case, we'll go ahead and do that. Make sure you keep some inventory slots clear, but you don't have to keep all of them clear. And let's do this.
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with.
I'm actually going to start by going this way, which is probably a bad idea. So, in the first part of this fight, you do not want to attack Jill, because if you kill her, you will actually die. Sheva, you could have done something that entire time, just so we're clear. But you do want to try to attack Wesker. You have 2 options of finishing the first part of this fight. You can either, 1, avoid him for 7 minutes, which is why he says 7 minutes, that's all I can spare to play with you. 2 is to actually do enough damage to him to end the fight prematurely.
Your future hinges upon this fight. We'll never win like this. Time to change tactics.
We should hide!
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get her behind Wesker. She kept getting shot by Jill. Alright, let's try that again. Forgot about that gym up there, so we'll start at that point.
7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you.
So the idea is to attack Wesker while he can't see you, but there's also some animations he does, like that reverse kick, that he can't block during those, or can't dodge during those. So that's another opportunity of being able to hit him. And that's really important to remember, more so for the DLC than for the main game, but it does help here as well. Are you actually?
We'll never win like this. Time to change tactics.
Nope, you can't get around him. I'm restarting. Yeah, it's too stupid to, like, shoot at him, or... Because if you shoot at him, he'll move out of the way, because it's really hard to hit him. So by doing that, you can, you know, get past him and come to save me. But the AI is just going to run into him. And then, of course, he's going to do that reverse kick and damage her, and that will probably kill her. Or send her in a dying state, which means we lose. So for the first part of this two-part fight, the AI really sucks. Now, when I restrained Jill, you can knock her out of the fight. She won't be out for good, but you can knock her out of the fight temporarily, and it helps a lot.
We'll never win like this. Time to change tactics.
We should hide.
No, I'm not going to do that. I have a feeling those bullets are going to, like... Because she's going to keep firing, and it's just going to go and hit me.
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you.
Chevy, you've already taken damage. What are you doing? You don't actually need to pick up the flash grenade here. I was just mostly picking it up for the sake of having it. The emerald is what you really want. I believe you have to get... I don't remember, but it's easier if you get all of the gems that are in this area in the first part of this fight. You may have to, but I'd recommend doing it in the first part anyway.
We'll never win like this. Time to change tactics.
Alright, since I didn't get him this time, and that's fine.
There's no point in hiding.
At this point, you want to run straight for...
How you so love
Go and grab this.
self-righteousness.
You want to head straight for the coffin that's right here. And if you're playing with the AI, Sheva will try to go after Jill while you get rid of Wesker, but you need her to open this up. So if you get that line, immediately start calling her to get over there. Because this has 2 gems and the next magnum of the game, which is the L-Hawk. It's got faster reload, and I believe a little bit faster rate of fire, but I honestly prefer the, at least for like a starting playthrough, I would prefer the first magnum they give you. Hi! I didn't want to reload. What are you doing? Get off the wall. So now, left hook, right hook, or you could just not do that.
There's no point.
Yeah, no, I'm too close to him. He's just going to find me immediately there.
There you are.
Now you got to hit him at least twice there. If he goes through the door, that's also fine. I'm going to try to beat him by doing like a set amount of damage, though.
There you are.
There we go. So you can do an actual like physical combo on him if you do enough damage. It won't end the fight immediately, but it will do a certain amount of damage to him. I'm actually going to switch to the L-Hawk since I know I'm not going to use it.
There you are.
You actually know who I am, or are you just pretending?
Found you. There's no point in
Sure there is, because I can do this. And it didn't let me get the third hit in for some reason. I'm sure it was important. You gonna go back the other way? You gonna come through here? Coming through here, alright. Surprise! If you get that line, that means you've done enough damage. Also, you can just hit him with a knife a little bit if you want. That's always fun. But if you do that, the fight will end right then and there. This is good not only for terms of completing the stage faster, you get a better rank, but it also gives you a treasure in the second part of the fight.
Challenge after all this time, Chris. How disappointing.
How disappointing. So another way you can do that is if he doesn't see you, you can fire a rocket launcher at him, and he will grab the rocket and try to push it away from his face. And then if you shoot the rocket while he's holding on to it, that does enough damage to end the fight immediately. On any difficulty. Surprise! Sheva didn't do her job and take care of Jill. And by surprise, I mean not a surprise at all. Thank you for the crotch shot. I appreciate that, I think.
Jill, come on! It's me, Chris! Snap out of it!
Nice move, Chris. But now that your partner has arrived, I'll leave you two to catch up.
Come on, Jill! Get yourself together, wake up! Jill Valentine!
Spent 3 hours fighting with my modem. Oh god, I'm sure that's fun.
Such an advanced stage.
What a time to be alive. Playing Resident Evil 5. What a time to be alive.
No more time for games, Chris. I've got work to do. Have fun watching Jill suffer.
Alright, cool.
Wait, what did you do to
See you in chapter 6. So unsurprisingly, yeah, she's being controlled. She wasn't actually turned into a villain of her own free will.
We have to get it off her.
Alright, part 2, and don't worry if you did get the treasure, it will stay there even if you take a restart. At this point, you definitely do not want the magnums, because Jill can still die in this section, and if she does, then you'll fail. Go ahead and put the machine gun back on, even though we're not going to use it. We'll get rid of that. And at this point, this is where you would want to use your flash rounds, and I'm actually going to buy some extra ones, because they're not very expensive. Actually, no, I'm going to go ahead and take both these off. Really, the only thing you're going to need here is like a very basic weapon. I would recommend a pistol for this very heavily, and then the grenade launcher with at least 12 flash rounds. If you want to use the flash bangs, like the actual proper flash grenades, you can, but I think this works better. Again, personal opinion, but, you know, take it or leave it, really. And I think that should do. Don't really think I need anything else here. So in stage 2, there's the Heart of Africa. You'll get that for beating Wesker with the set amount of damage. There we go. And if you did not pick up those 2 herbs from the first part of the fight, they will still be there. So the idea is to stun Jill with the flash rounds, or flash grenades, take your pick.
Jill, what are you doing?
And once she gets stunned, either you or the AI will be able to throw her, or
Stop this! Jill, answer me!
or you can be able to restrain her. Now, if you restrain her, when the AI turns to fire, they will not ever miss that shot. Not with a rifle, pistol, anything like that. If you have anything with piercing on this fight, do not use it. But if you fire it, of course you can miss. The chest piece, I believe, has 10,000 health. A shot from anything will do 1,000. I think. I could be wrong on that. Every shot does the same amount of damage, and then tearing the thing off does like 30 per button press, give or take. But this means since all weapons do the same amount of damage that there's no reason to use anything that's high-powered. You can inflict a small amount of damage on Jill by accident, but too much and she'll die. She only has, like, I think 1,000 health, so you don't actually want to hit her. Because if you do, then there's a good chance you could fail. Now, the other way to do this is if you're playing with a friend and you want to be more careful instead of firing at her. Whenever you restrain Jill, then the other person can run up and just do the button press to tear it off manually that way. Should you complete the stage by doing that, you'll get an achievement called Masters of Removing. The AI will not do the chest grab unless the thing on her chest has no more HP. And of course, the more it sparks, that means the closer she is to dying. If you're playing this on professional, a lot of people will argue, and for very good reason, that this is the hardest fight in the game. Again, for very good reason. She fires machine guns at you, which we use the flash grenade, or the flash rounds to kind of stop her from doing that. But she'll fire her machine gun at you a lot. And on professional, one bullet's enough to kill you. Despite the fact it's the VZ machine gun, which is the weakest in the game. It will be enough to send you into dying mode. If you've never used the flash rounds on her in this fight, would heavily recommend it. They work really well here.
You're Sheva, right? Yes. I couldn't control my actions. Oh my God, I was still aware. Oh, forgive me. It's all right. Thank you. Listen, I'm gonna be alright. You two need to stop him.
We can't just leave you here.
You have to.
There's a really great line coming up here. I want you to pay attention to this dialogue.
Photos will be spread across the globe. Millions will die.
Oh, yeah, but
I'm alright. You
Chris was willing to let millions of people die in order to help Jill in this scenario, even though he already saved her. That's friggin' hilarious. Also, he gives her like a total 1,000-yard stare here in a second. It's great. It's not right here. I'll let you know what it is. It looks really creepy. Especially with some alternate costumes, it looks really creepy. Right here as he's backing up, he gives a really creepy stare. Right there, it's so good.
take care of him.
Yeah, a little bit better than you have been, please. That'd be helpful.
You're our only hope to survive this.
I just love the fact, though, he was just, millions will die. Well, yeah, but don't really care about them.
Chris,
I'm alright.
He'd rather play the rest of the game with Jill. Fair argument. I mean, they get some DLC together, so that's good. That's what Lost in Nightmares is you play as Chris and Jill. One track. I mean, he really does have a one-track mind. Like, the entire game, ever since he's seen that file in, like, 2-1 of Jill, that's really all he's actually cared about, is finding Jill. And then after he frees Jill, pretty much all he cares about, other than killing Wesker, is making sure that Jill's okay. It's really funny. Sheva actually, like, wants to save the people of Africa, and he's just, like, looking for Jill. You can now video the Jill Valentine file in the library. Yeah, we'll do that later. For now, we move on to Chapter 6-1.